9 years of absence, because then you must hold him singly without us, because
it's taking 9 years.
We will, for every opportunity he wants to compensate for 3 years. Now, let me come back to this issue. And I just saw this part on the page 2 of the Star,
yes,
where it says Kalonzo slams brakes on push to have him named Raila as deputy. And he was directly speaking to my friend Manzo here, and Senate,
Page 2 of the Star.
Yes.
And
I thought that now they had finally come to heed Kalonzo Musyoka's advice. I've just learned that they are not heeding. In fact, Manzo here is going well overboard, and now he's become Hammurabi. he's dishing out positions in the bus show. And be careful. When Manzo speaks, yes, he's not just campaigning for Kalonzo Musyoka. He's campaigning for himself, because he's also running for office. And in just that alone, it adds him some corporate votes. So don't take him too seriously on what he says on this matter.
So he's killing about the...
Courtship must be by persuasion, not by blackmail. And the kind of blackmail that Manzo and his ilk are bringing to the table is not healthy. Many of us have been quiet on these matters, but it is not that we cannot speak. It is that we prefer that discussions be held, people agree, and then people move forward. And I agree with Honorable Rigathi. If you join a team, you should believe in that team. You should not join it because you demand something specific, failing which you now think that team needs to be bastardized. That is not how to do these things. You join, it is agreed, and once it's agreed, then you move on. And it's not about confusion. Having consultations and inclusivity is a very good thing, because that's the basis of moving forward together. The contrary is tyranny and dictatorship. I think that to have a team to consult, agree on who's best placed to be running it is a very good thing.
Yes.
Now, to have that and to have the meeting with the IEBC, I'm surprised that Dan Manzo finds that irrelevant. It is a question, as I told you, of interpretation of the law. And we are not going to court. We are putting our heads together as lawyers, as politicians, as decent Kenyans, to agree on the proper interpretation without having to make it controversial, but also to give time that might be necessary. You see, let's not make it look like only the Azimio coalition and the Kenya Kwanza coalition will have a presidential candidate and a running mate. Remember, any Kenyan is allowed to run in any party that they have or as independents. And they too would want to know what is the deadline. So there's nothing like making this sound because of confusion, because some people like Manzo think that it should be something that can be named from abroad and all. No. The law must always be agreed, it must be clear, it must be fair to everyone. Those within the Azimio, those in the Kenya Kwanza, and those outside, so that they know. Because right now, there are two parallel interpretations. There's interpretation of naming the candidate and whether a running mate is a candidate, but there's also the other provision of nomination day. And previously, it had been interpreted that you basically have up to nomination day to now name your running mate. But the current interpretation of IBC is that the running mate must be named when you present the presidential candidate. That has not always been the case. So to agree on it is not idle. It is important for all candidates. It's important for posterity. Now, well, when you come then to this other issue, I think the issue of decency and the issue of names, I think, to the best of my knowledge, Kabando, even when he was president, even when he was alive, Kibaki was always referred to as Emilio Mwai Kibaki. I even think that he liked that name, perhaps because of his Catholic background. Now that's different from you, that like Raila Odinga does not have a Christian name. you know. So that's different. I am known as Otiende Molo, but I'm a good Catholic. I have a Christian name, and I don't mind my Christian name Paul being used from time to time. Yes, I am Paul. Yes, I was named after St. Paul of Tarsus. You see, we know these things. But now, lastly, regarding, you know, I agree with you that we must have some decency. But sometimes you sympathize with the president. Look, you have the deputy president who every other day reminds people that he's outside government. He is not part of that government. He cannot take any blame for that government. Him is outside there. Then when it comes to a state function, then he wants to be accorded the status of the second highest office. You know, now he wants to be the deputy president. If you are the president, it presents you with a difficulty. Is this, and when it's convenient, they say, oh, the de facto deputy president is Raila Odinga. When it comes to certain occasions, they say, why are you mistreating the real deputy president? It must be confusing, not just to the president, but even to all Kenyans. Do we treat William Samoei Ruto as the deputy president or as the person outside, outside government? That decency in politics also requires that if you're occupying the second highest office, accord it the respect that comes with it. Do not throw barbs at that office, because when you throw barbs at the president, you are throwing it at the presidency, which includes the deputy. So one other lesson to be learned from Mwai Kibaki's legacy is that if you are in it, then be in it. If you are not, as happened in his case, and you find that you should now go out there and fight for yourself, then exit. But don't want to have your cake and eat it at the same time.
Fantastic. I think it's a good point to just take a short break. Rigathi, when you come back, we'll respond to that as well. The issue of also the deputy president on the same ticket with the presidency, because you've been saying that, you know, William Ruto was elected on his own as a deputy president. He has the rallying and the backing of his people. He brought numbers at the end of the day. So looking at that particular ticket, when you're going to cast that particular ballot, is it the presidency or also the two of them that go in tandem? As I think also that needs a bit of clarification, if you may as well. So if you say, if I'm electing, for instance, President so-and-so, maybe it's Dibala Inea who's on the ticket, and I have Kabando as a running mate, do I have any choice at the end of the day to go and elect another deputy president? Because this is a ticket that now we have paired with Kabando, right? We'll take a short break. When we come back, of course, we also try and navel gaze on that particular ticklish question. Don't go away.